All right, welcome to another one from the Outdoor Analyst. I've got a super fun one for you today. We're going to be talking about one of the most insane throwing spotlights I have ever used. It is absolutely a beast. Before we dive in, though, if you wouldn't mind, hey, hit that subscribe button. Click the bell if you like seeing outdoor content, knives, axes, flashlights, too. Feel free to click it. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel. I'm a small channel. Leave a like down there too, and then also put some comments down there. The more the merrier, especially when it comes to flashlights. Throw your preferences in there. Now, this is something from Wurkkos. I've done a few lights from them. They've sent a few over for review. I've actually been nothing but impressed so far. But this is what they pretty much mark out as a throwing light. This is a spotlight, and it's also, in my mind, kind of a budget spotlight, which I think is really, really cool. So, as you can see, this has a lot of lumens, and I'm not sure when this is scheduled to go out. I've got another one out here that actually has technically more lumens, but the difference is the throw on this. The Candela is over the moon. This has 2,200 lumens. Now, the Candela, I'm not honestly sure if that number that they are showing is correct for 270K. That seems insane, but then again, the distance on this is insane. And I mean like ridiculously insane. I'm out here next to fields, and I can just pop this sucker out for hundreds and hundreds of yards and spotlight pretty much anything. And in my mind, this is the coyote light for the fam, which is awesome. And I may end up giving this to my father-in-law. He has more coyotes up there. Granted, I take care of more of them, so we'll just see what happens on that side. But in a nutshell, this thing ridiculously spotlights insanely well. Like, I've got 150 just right out back, and I can light up the world. Actually, easily 250 on yardage, and I can see anything as bright as day with this sucker. It is a very narrow beam. It is not a lumen monster that floods, but if you want to spot something and then pop it, you know what I'm talking about with coyotes. This thing is your best friend at night. This literally will cross, well, okay, not most fields. 1,000 yards really isn't that much out here. But for most people, 1,000 meters or yards, yeah, I go by yards. Welcome to America. It's pretty insane. So how's it work? Pretty easy. I got it wrong to start with. First, I thought you have a button right here. You can just click it and go. No, it is a tail switch. A nice tactile tail switch, actually. And it has memory, which is cool. So whatever you leave it off on, it comes right back on. It has 4 kind of major modes. You have like an eco, you have low, medium, high, or I probably got that wrong, but you have 4 modes. And then if you double tap it, you go into turbo mode. Now, I'm in a bright room, well lit, and I just lit this sucker up like crazy. Yeah, let's go back down to low. It is insane how bright this thing could be. And as you can see, it has a very intense spotlight on there. It does also have a white ring that's all the way around. Now, the more I've kind of looked in on this, that's more of what you get with a budget light. I don't mind that at all. It doesn't pester me in any way, shape, or form. It is easy to understand. I love that it goes back on with memory. Now, you can change the mode to actually work on just a medium and then a turbo if you want. So if you hold this for 3 seconds, it'll move into a new mode where you literally just have medium, super high. Okay, yeah. So if you just want those 2 options, that's great. I kind of like the option, so I'm going to hold it for another 3 seconds. Boom. Now I'm back to the 4 where I can have 4 different options for lights, essentially, which I think is great. Now, for stats-wise, just so if you have them, pause. There's the stats on this thing. Now you've seen it all. You want the real numbers for exactly what this is. There it is. There you go. There's all the stats on this sucker. It feels really great in hand. Feels really quality. This has a ginormous battery on it. As I say quality. Oh, does it still work? Yes, it still works. You can drop this sucker pretty well. The hours on this is pretty cool. So on Eco, you just rock this at 50 hours. So I think that's great. The Eco is pretty nice. 30 lumens is really nice for rolling around. For walking trails at night, you can rock with that. That will absolutely work. Now, it is kind of a spotlight, so you may want to pop it up, but 15 hours is pretty darn solid. Now, what really shocks me is how long you can run the turbo. This is actually really insane. This battery is fantastic. You can run it for 2 hours, which is just absolutely nuts. Wurkkos has really nailed their batteries. And honestly, the turbo on their other kind of lumen light is pretty good too. It's about an hour and a half, I think, which is awesome. So I really like how they have their system set up. Works really well. Fairly water resistant, IPX8, so it should get through any sort of rain without any issues, honestly. Now it's got some weight to it, 7 ounces. It's not actually that heavy, to be honest with you. Feels really good as far as machining goes. There's no rough edges anywhere. It's grippy but smooth. You could do this with gloves without any problem. And yeah, I am darn impressed. The TD01C, if you really need to spotlight something, this is 45 bucks. 45 bucks right now? That's nuts. This is just insane. Like, I grew up in the Maglite world, guys. Like, where you had the 2-cell, the 5-cell, which was insane. It doesn't even think that would be like imaginably close to what this is in reality. This is just nuts. I can absolutely light up a coyote at 500 yards away like it's daylight. That is ridiculous, and that's perfect. Granted, I'm not going out to 5 for a coyote. Honestly, we're rolling around like 300 and in, and for that, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. Just absolutely amazing. So, if you need a budget spotlight, do it. I don't think you can beat this, honestly. Now, I am not the highest end light guy out there. I like testing these things because they're useful where I live. They really, really are. We're in the Midwest, and yes, we have a little bit of suburbia next to us, but most of it's fields. That's just where we're at here. So I kind of have a little bit of half and half in my life all around. And then when we hit the property, yeah, we're truly in the country, which is beautiful, and that's where this thing is guaranteedly awesome. Yeah, every now and then have coyotes in the back. Usually every month or so, one will venture around. But they are all over at the property, so this thing's going to be super, super darn useful. And in comparison, like, I love this thing. This is the Wurkkos HD02. I think these are all coming out at the same time and whatnot, so I'm allowed to put them in the same video. This is a lumen monster. I really do love it. Works on the same philosophy. Goes all the way up, but just kind of steps up there. And it does have incredible lumens. This is if you're really looking for more flood. If you need more of a flood, and in my mind, if you need kind of more of that like a garage helper, this light's awesome. It also costs a little bit more because it does a lot more things. I think in some ways it's a little more useful. Totally different. Spotlight out to, now it says 300 yards. In my mind, this is kind of like a 200 and in perfection for that because it's a lot broader of a beam. But if you really want to spotlight something, and I mean it, this is where you go, and it costs, I don't know, almost half as much. So totally different lights, totally different styles. Love them both. Wurkkos has been solid for me. These don't get insanely hot either. Now, technically it does say it's hot, please don't touch. I have not had an issue with this running around with it. So this is a cool light. Now, I know I'm not like the super light guy. I'm not going to jump into, all right, here's the emitters and here's what it's all doing. I'm just a practical guy. And for a practical dude, this thing's pretty darn sweet. Hasn't broken. Yes, I've dropped it a few times. Dropped the other one too, actually. I also have little ones around, so that's if they survive, it means something. It means that they're actually pretty darn tough, which is awesome. So, yeah, thanks Wurkkos for sending this over. I have no skin in the game. Matter of fact, if I didn't want to do a review, I just send the darn thing back. They're actually really cool. They're like, if you hate the light, let us know. Let us know what you hate about it. The only thing that I think is a little interesting or weird is that it doesn't turn on directly from the button. It's all on the tail click. I think that's weird, but I actually appreciate that they did that. Just because this would be much easier to actuate accidentally versus you really do have to press this, and it's tactile. Oh, I think you can also... Can you double tick it? Yeah, you can double click this thing if you do it at the right speed from the tail clicker to get into turbo. Personally, I would rather just be able to double tap that and go at it. So there's different ways to do it. I kind of like just using this like a normal flashlight, to be honest with you. And yes, you can soft press as well, which I do like. And then if you hard press, you're good to go. So I think ergonomically they did it right. It took me 1 second to realize, oh, got to click the back first and then run through their 4 settings. And then if you read, you can change those settings to just a medium and a high, which I think is cool. I like the memory setting on here personally because I always like to start off, if it's not going to be a tactical light, in the low if I'm trying to actually find something. If you want to use this as a spotlight, sure, start off at the high and then turn it off and you'll always have the memory for it. So very, very intuitive. That's what I'm looking for when it comes to a flashlight. I need it to be as simple for a Neanderthal to actually understand how it works and get it really fast. If I have to read a manual to see how a light works, it's a no-go in my mind for me. And I'll let you know right off the bat. This was super simple, which is great. That's all I'm looking for. Can I figure it out in a minute or two? The answer is yes. And it works. Thumbs up. So, if you need a spotlight, check this out. Yes, I'll have some links down there. They will be affiliate linked. It does help out the channel. I'll get a couple of cents off of it. But either way, just know I like this light. It works pretty well. Yeah. I will catch y'all on the next one. Let me know if there's some other options out there too. Put those down for everybody. That I think that really is a really wonderful thing that there's other things out there. And yes, I do have an American flashlight coming on the channel sometime, which is finally happening. There's just not a whole lot of them out there, which is wild. But yeah, this thing works pretty well. All right, catch you on the next one.